In the spirit of reconciliation, the entire team at Curious Freedom acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connection to land, waters, and community. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. It always was and always will be Aboriginal land. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people listening today. I would like to acknowledge in particular the Darug people who are the original custodians on the land on which I record this podcast. Thank you for showing us what curious freedom can look like. Hello and welcome to the Curious Freedom podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I feel so honored and privileged that you would come back and say hi and listen to me again for 2024. Welcome back, everybody. And I bid you farewell, maybe for the last time. So, over the summer break, I was able to slow down enough and listen to my heart. And in the quietness, I came to realize that running this business and doing this podcast doesn't feel like freedom for me anymore, for me or for my family. So it was from this revelation that I have decided to close down Curious Freedom, the business, in its current iteration, and to stop podcasting, at least for the time being. So this decision has been heartbreaking in many ways. It has also been one that has brought me a deep sense of peace. And so with that, I know that it's the right and timely decision. So I'm going to take a time to rest and process what has been a massive few years for myself and my family. And in this time, I hope that dreams will start developing for what's next for me and for Curious Freedom. I do believe that my season of working in the professional organising and decluttering industry has come to an end. However, I also believe that there's so much growth for me and for others that I would love to champion. I'm really hopeful that Curious Freedom will be reborn and that the podcast will come back, but I'm also holding all of that loosely. And yeah, just going to lay down literally and figuratively this chapter and get to the goodness of resting. So yeah, big news. And yeah, it's been a thing. It's been as my beautiful listeners. It's been coming for a little while, and yeah, it was really over the Christmas period that I could really stop and process and really think about what it is that I need and what's lighting me up at the moment. And unfortunately, podcasting and decluttering is not lighting me up at the moment. I really, really, really hope it. I really hope that podcasting comes back, and that's podcasting can be part of the future for me. And I'm happy to happy probably isn't the right word, but I'm willing to lay it all down for now and to see what gets reignited, and if it gets reignited, and if it doesn't, that's okay too. Yeah, that's okay too. It's been really cool to think that, to look back on the journey over the last almost 7 years, 6.5 years of being a podcaster. It's really, podcasting has changed so incredibly just over the last 6.5 years. I feel like we caught the perfect wave at the perfect time. It was before every woman and their business had a podcast. It was, yeah, in a season where everybody was interested in decluttering. Not everybody, but loads of people were interested in decluttering. And it was so awesome. It's so awesome to have pioneered something, to be the first professional organizers to get into decluttering, not that, to get into podcasting, and to be the first Australian professional organizers podcasting about an industry that we loved and about topics that we loved. And it's been an honor, like such an honor, to have been a voice in your ear over the last 6.5 years, to have helped you, hopefully helped you in my small little way of having grace for yourself, finding grace for other people that you live with, and finding freedom in decluttering. And hopefully I have, you haven't felt shame or guilt from me around what you have or haven't been able to achieve. And yeah, it's been really awesome. Really awesome. Yeah, like what an absolute honor it has been of mine. Speak over your life, to speak into your life, to cheer you on, to encourage you, to support you, to champion you, to yeah, help you to find vision for yourself and for your home. And I'm so thankful that so many people have tuned in along the way. I'm so thankful for those of you who were customers and clients of mine in my first business, Feels Like Home Professional Organisers, that you listened along when we started this podcast, that you championed us, that you cheered us on in the podcasting, that you discovered us along the way, that you found out about us because we're on Sunrise TV or Sky News or wherever you found us to come along this decluttering journey. And then for all of you who have discovered me since I've been solo again with Curious Freedom, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for, as I said, cheering me on and championing me, for sharing this podcast with your friends and colleagues and neighbors. And like, wow, wow, it's been an incredible ride. Yeah, you may have heard us in the skies when you were traveling with Virgin. Yeah, you may have just stumbled across us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere that you've been able to find your podcast. And yeah, there's been so much change in podcasting over the last 6.5 years. And I just feel immense pride in being able to be part of the podcasting landscape in Australia and across the world. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love being able to do this. And I've loved being in your ears. Even the haters who hate me repeating myself like that. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody for their feedback on the podcast along the 6.5 years. I'm just Oh, so immensely grateful. So thank you for everyone who's had a connection to Curious Freedom, for the clients who have trusted us and invited us into their homes, for the people who have listened to our podcast episodes, those of you who have followed along on social media and opened up emails when they've landed in your inbox, and those who have reached out to share how much the work that we've put into the world has impacted your life. My most wholehearted gratitude and thank you to you. And I just want to thank my team, past and present, for supporting our clients and doing the same for each other and for me. My life is all the more beautiful for your friendship. And for you, dear listeners, my life is forever changed and all the more beautiful for having had this podcast for the last 6.5 years. Thank you for putting up with my vocal fry all the way along, but particularly in this episode where I've been crying. So as a business, we'll be closing our doors as of the 29th of February 2024. If you want any decluttering services and support before then, please get in touch, and I'll connect you to individual team members who will be continuing in the industry. If you would like to be informed of any future rebirthing of Curious Freedom, the business, and Curious Freedom, the podcast, then please stay subscribed to both the emails and the podcast. If in the future I come back, I'll be coming back on this feed. And so it will just pop back up in your feed wherever you subscribe. I'll come back. And the same with my social media accounts. I'm going to deactivate them, but that will allow me to reactivate them in the future, if that is what's going to happen in the future. And the Curious Freedom website is going to remain up until I know more. But it's definitely going to have the podcast page, so you can continue to access past podcasts episodes via the website, and you can also check in to see if I have rebirthed anything. I am looking forward to rest. I'm looking forward to being able to be present with my family, to be able to support them in everything that they're walking through in this season as well. And I'm looking forward to dreaming, and I'm having the space and the time to discover what's next for me. In the meantime, I wish you all the very, very best in life. I hope you all continue to know just how incredibly and wonderfully you've been made, and that you continue to champion your own evolutions, your own continual growth and evolving into the next iteration of who you are. And know that you don't have to change a single thing, that you are perfect just the way you are, and that you are made in a wonderful and amazing way. And life has a funny way of changing all of us all the time as we grow along. And so our evolutions are, it's just part of life, isn't it? I am not the same person I was when I started this podcast 6.5 years ago, and I'm not the same person I was a year ago when I started Curious Freedom. So life has a funny way of making its impact on us and helping us to change and grow and become more and more us. So know that I will be cheering you on in everything that you do. And fare thee well, dear friends. Fare thee well.